3. Meeting to order. All right, Mayor, you're on speaker.
We're going to get started this evening with the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Cape May. Today's date is Tuesday, February 17th at 5 p.m. We are in City Hall Auditorium, and Mayor Zach Mullick is joining us via phone. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council, posted on the city website and Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and/or video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Councilmember Baldwin?
Here.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Here.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Here.
Councilmember Meyer?
Here.
Mayor Moloch?
Here.
City Solicitor Gillenschwartz?
Here.
City Manager Dietrich?
Here.
Deputy Manager Riggs?
Here.
Deputy Clerk Turner?
Here.
And CFO Reed?
Here.
All right, first on the agenda, we have the fiscal year 2026 NJDCA CDBG application presentation and a public hearing from Mr. Mark Blauer, our grant consultant.
Thank you, Mark, for coming in tonight. Yep.
Oh,
And Mark, you can pick it up if you're moving around. You can speak
Sure,
right into
thank
that for us, please. Thank you.
thank you, Aaron. We're having a public hearing tonight preparatory to another grant application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program. This is the program we've used for the last 5 consecutive years to obtain grants for various improvements in the city. Myself and Paul and Vincent from Engineering Design commonly work together to come up with project ideas that we use to apply once a year for block grant funds up to $400,000. Going back to 2001, we had succeed with a $400,000 grant for water transmission main to improve the city's water infrastructure. 2022, a application originally suggested by Mayor Mullick for ADA compliance improvements at Kiwanis Park. 2023, another project that was brought to the forefront by the council, which was beach mats and beach wheelchairs and a replacement for one of the existing ADA compliance ramps at Mount Vernon. That was another $400,000 project. These projects are completed. The most recent project completion was the beach mats. In the summer of 2025, the DCA Small City staff actually visited and saw that project, and they were much impressed by it. More recently, we've gotten, from the last 2 years, grant funds for ADA compliance improvements at the tennis club. That project is designed, and it's nearing the point where we're going to bid the fiscal 24-25 funds, again, ADA compliance improvements. So we've had a success for 5 consecutive years, roughly $1.5 million of grant funds. This year, myself and Paul and Vince talked about possible projects. The one that we are focused on is the one that is in the handout from HMR, the architects. If anybody needs a copy, I have extra copies here. We're looking at the Physics Estate Museum, and the idea is to improve the restroom facilities to make them fully ADA compliant. It's an existing need that's not yet met. It's part of a larger project of the city to improve the Physics Estate, and it's an excellent project. The city owns the property, and with 70,000 plus visitors a year, it's imperative that we make it fully ADA compliant. Like so many other facilities, we've made ADA compliant in the city. The rough cost is $298,000. The expectation is we'll apply for the grant fund for the construction, with the city paying the architect. The balance of roughly $130,000 to be available in the potential grant will be using for ADA compliant street improvements at various intersections. The one that comes to mind is Elmira, but others will be suggested as well as we move along. Part of the city's ongoing efforts to make the all street improvements ADA compliant and accessible for people with either walkers or wheelchairs or motorized scooters, or even somebody with a cane who has trouble negotiating a typical curb. The depressed curb cuts make that far simpler for those people. So we're looking at roughly a $400,000 grant application for hard cost of construction, and the balance of cost would be for the HMR architects and for engineering design associates, which would be basically the city's local match. This application is being discussed tonight because we have an opportunity to apply between now and March 11th. We have resolutions on the agenda tonight to authorize this application. I have various forms already in hand, and we're going to replicate what we did in former years and give it a good try to get this project approved. And we'll likely know yes or no sometime in the summer, which means that we could possibly be constructing this project over the winter of 26, 27 into, the summer, spring of 2027. Again, I'm Mark Blauer. I'm a grant writer. I'm not an engineer or architect, but I rely on people like Paul to help me out with those fine points. I'm based in Berwick, Pennsylvania. I've had the pleasure of working for the city since 2010 on many, many projects. And this is your opportunity to ask questions or to make comments about this specific project idea. To make Aaron's job easier, identify who you are so we can put your name into the transcript that we will submit with the grant application. Thank you very much.
So at this time, Mark, would you like them to come forward if anybody has questions from the public? And if you wouldn't mind just stating your name and address for the record. Thank you, Jules.
Jules Roush, 1010 New York Avenue. This project, as I understand it, involves the city having an obligation to pay for the architectural fees. Is that correct?
We're going to have an obligation for a minimum of a 10% match.
One second, Mark. Here
It's
you
just
go.
for the match, so not necessarily, we'll be able to split up depending on what we do with the project of how we spend that match.
Is there any ability at this point to understand what the obligation will be as far as the physical state goes? Architectural expense.
So that they are already underway for their process, so in most likelihood, I will probably not be utilizing their architectural design services as match, because they are doing additional architectural services that are broader in scope than just our singular project. So I'll probably utilize engineering design associates design fee and because his design is a greater portion than that, I believe that engineering design associates design and construction management fees will exceed the match amount required for the project.
The reason I ask this question is we've tried to be very clear with all of our nonprofits that the expenses that the nonprofits incur are their expenses, not the city taxpayers' expenses. And I raised that question and asked that we be careful in assuming any responsibility for the expenses that are directly attributed to the physical state, because if you want to start that ball of incurring expenses for nonprofits, it's a slippery slope, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul, just very quickly, if we get $400,000, our minimum match obligation is $40,000 or 10%. If we spend more, it actually makes it a bit more competitive. The reason that I try to put the professional fees in the match is that it avoids losing 3 months on advertising for professional services. And to do it the way the DCA wants takes good 2-3 months of a process. Paying for the professional fees out of local funds lets us spend all the grant for construction, and things move along very quickly.
But as Mr. Roush said, the design fees will not be city costs. That'll be at the expense of the physicist, the MAC, will be handling those.
Because, Mr. Dietrich, you're saying that they're doing other work down there, and
Correct.
you intend to have them leverage the other work
Correct.
that's being done?
They're really leveraging, since it really started, they had made an application to the county for some county open space money retrofit, and then they had the discussion. So we looked at parlaying some of our ADA money into ADA accessibility and bathrooms at the physics estate. So we would, at the physics estate, it's only going to cover the portion that it would be construction. They will handle all of their own
Design fees.
and construction management fees for their portion of the project as part of their project. We would only be attributing the construction fence, and I feel comfortable that there'll be sufficient match money to handle the required match for the grant outside of needing to look at their fees.
Paul, on the budget that we've been working with from HMR, would the professional fees that they identified be something that the physics estate is paying?
Yes.
So that we can use their payments as leverage. We can claim it. And so in this case, the $271,700 would be granted.
Right. I just really wanted to make clear that the city is not going to be responsible, and I think that's what Mr. Roush was wanting to make sure and clarify, that the city was not going to be paying for or attributing to any of our city funds, whether match or
Otherwise.
towards the architectural fees of the project. I think that's what Mr. Roush was.
That's right. And
Okay.
for the street improvements with EDA, we're paying for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so is that, everyone's clear on that? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Blauer.
Thank you, Mark.
Just keep that here. So,
Seeing no more public comment, let's move on. We do have this listed as a consent agenda. Should council want to adopt the following resolutions in one motion, I will read them off for the record. We have 101-02, 2026, resolution authorizing professional services agreement between the City of Cape May and Blauer Associates for the fiscal year 2026 NJDCA Public Facilities Grant. 102-02, 2026, resolution for the adoption of a state model citizen participation plan for DCA Small Cities Program. 103-02, 2026, resolution identifying Small Cities Fair Housing Officer. 104-02, 2026, resolution for the approval of Public Facilities Grant Management Plan. And 105-02, 2026, resolution approving submission of fiscal year 2026 Small Cities Public Facilities application. If we have a motion to accept the consent agenda relating to this grant.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion from council? Okay, roll call. Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
yes,
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. I'll be in touch with everything tomorrow, okay? Wonderful.
Take care.
All right, moving on to Resolution 106-02, 2026, a resolution recognizing Cape May Police Captain John Bobick. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a second?
I'll second. Can I?
The official date for Captain Bobick to leave our service is coming up. I believe it's the 27th, is that correct?
His walkout date is 27th. Yeah, I believe his last official date is March 1st.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I speak for the mayor, and certainly everyone here can express their own, but sadly missed, a very fine officer who has given, his life to the service of Cape May, West Cape May Point, and just a stellar, outstanding individual. So we would like to publicly thank him for his service to the city of Cape May and the surrounding boroughs. So thank you, Captain Bobick.
All right. We ready for roll call, council? Or any other
Roll call.
comments? Okay. Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
All right.
We're going to skip updates and old business for right now and go right to bond ordinances. Erin?
Sure. Yep, we're going to go a little out of order, just while we have Mayor Mullock with us on the phone. If that's
Deputy Mayor and City Clerk may want to add the appointment, mayoral appointment to that list of things to move. up
Very
as well.
good call, yes. So let's get through the bond ordinances, and then we will go through the mayoral appointment as well. Okay, Mayor?
Yep.
All right, so we've got bond ordinances for introduction. We have 596-2026, a bond ordinance providing for various beach and utility improvements. Thank you. By and in the City of Cape May, County of Cape May, State of New Jersey, appropriating $300,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of 300,000 bonds or notes of the city to finance the costs thereof. If we have a motion to introduce 596.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Wait a
second.
Deputy Mayor, if I could just make a comment
Yep.
before we vote. I have a capital budget presentation that'll go over all of these, so anybody in the public that, we're going through several bond ordinances, and you're probably wondering what they're for and what are we doing this for. If we were in correct order, I would have done my presentation, then you would have had these, and it would have been fully aware of what these were for. So just for the public's awareness, hold on, and I'll get to
We'll
what
answer
those
all
are.
of your
Answer your
questions.
questions when we get to my
Until we're-
presentation, but I just wanted to make that
Yep,
comment so
Thank you,
that.
Mr. Dietrich, for the
so
point of
that
clarification.
They know what it's coming up.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
And
this
this
is
is-
the first reading, so there'll be another opportunity to.
Yes, and so.
Research and do more
yep,
questions later.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Mr. Meyer. 590.
All right. Ready for roll call? Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock?
Yes.
We have 597-2026, a bond ordinance providing for various 2026 capital improvements by and in the City of Cape May, County of Cape May, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,780,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,605,997 bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof. If we have a motion to introduce 597.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, council? Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock?
Yes.
598-2026, bond ordinance providing for various water sewer utility improvements by and in the City of Cape May, County of Cape May, State of New Jersey, appropriating $400,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $400,000 bonds or notes in the city to finance the costs thereof. If we have a motion for 598.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Questions, council? Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock?
Yes.
And 599-2026, bond ordinance providing supplemental funding for various water sewer utility improvements by and in the City of Cape May, County of Cape May, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,475,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,475,000 of bonds or notes of the city to finance the cost thereof. If we have a motion to introduce 599, council.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Questions, comments?
No.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock? Mayor Mullock, we are voting on 599-2026.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sorry.
Nope, no worries. Thank you. All right, so then if we'd like to move along to, there is a mayoral appointment on the agenda this evening while we have Mayor Mullock on the phone. It is to the Shade Tree Commission. It's Kathy Drake fulfilling the currently vacant alternate one position of the Shade Tree Commission. Is that correct, Mayor?
That's correct, and I thank her for her willingness to serve.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
So now we'll turn it over to Mr. Dietrich.
Yes.
Who will give his presentation. And the mayoral appointment, I didn't think we did.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dietrich.
Let me get my
Yep,
presentation
just going to get him
up real
connected
quick.
here.
Thank you. So now we're going to go over my presentation for the capital budget for 2026. And we just introduced 4 of the ordinances that were really going to be presented here, but now we'll kind of go through the timeline that we're looking at and general information about what's incorporated in all of those. Obviously, this was part of the agenda packet, so the public has had the availability to review this, but also I will be uploading this to the website in the finance section so that this specific presentation will be able to be easily captured without looking through the whole council packet. So the budget timeline. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been meeting with each member of council to kind of go over the items in the capital budget. We're looking at introducing the ordinances this evening, followed up by public review. Then we're going to look at having a public adoption on March 14th. After the March 14th date, there's a 20-day estoppel period. It really puts us around April 14th. And a lot of this kind of puts us in a timeline to get some of these projects moving to essentially have them out to bid before the summertime and a lot of the stuff so that we can kind of keep them moving throughout the year. Capital budget, we're looking at $3,780,000 for general capital items. We have had several requests, and we think we've been prudent over the last several years that we're putting $987,000 of capital work and projects and equipment into the budget. So not, we're going to discuss it here, but not part of the ordinance. So we're not going to be going out for long-term debt for those items. We're going to be purchasing them directly through the budget. And I think that's been a request and recommendation for several years from the TPA and MTRAC to look at those kinds of things. We're looking at the water and sewer capital bond for 2 different projects, general improvements, and then also we need a little bit more funding after the engineer went through his preparing the specs. Beyond what we had, the $2 million from last year's bond, we need a little bit more to make sure we have enough contingency to complete the project. And we're looking at $300,000 for beach capital work, and that puts us at a total of $4,480,000. So how do those projects kind of break down? Here's a general summary. We're looking at, we need $350,000 for police building and technology, some repairs at Convention Hall, Lafayette Street Park, ADA grant match to projects that we just talked about, and last year's project, the Bank Street retaining wall. The Bank Street retaining wall is a project we funded last year and we started it, but we need some more seed money to continue the engineering phase of the project. And this Bank Street retaining wall will essentially kind of connect at the bridge on Elmira Street that goes over Cape Island Creek, run down behind the substation that's on Venice, and then connect back along the backside of the Bank Street parking lot as it gets up to higher ground. As everybody's aware, that is probably a location that has some of the most frequent nuisance flooding we have in the city that affects daily commuters that travel along Elmira Street and the residents in that area. We get a full moon, high tide, without even a good rainstorm, and that street floods. We've done a good job about putting Tyflex valves to kind of lessen that impact, but once you hit a moderate stage level of flooding, the banks, literally, not Bank Street, but those banks just really overtop, and it's into the street. It's in, if you're parking your car, it gets flooded out. So it's really to prevent that flooding over time. The design will tell us how high we have to go and where we'll be tie in. It's not going to be higher than the Bank Street, the bridge that goes over Cape Island Creek, but it will elevate it enough to kind of keep the water in the creek and not into the street. The other thing is we talked about last year for OEM, automated weather warning system. Here again, this would allow us to have an alert system that would, instead of having to send a person out to verify, oh, there's water in the street, and then to set off the flood sirens, this would have an automatic sensor, sense the water, and then be able to shoot the message to residents as they would want them. Police have to update their tasers. so they can have a safer method to subdue and contain suspects that may need to be there. We're looking to expand the sidewalk project. We're getting ready. We just had a pre-construction meeting today to kick off our sidewalk project. So this would be a second phase of that to continue on. We're also looking at a road paving project. Here again, this would be a road paving project that does for roads that don't need utility work, and then a project also to do safety improvements. The capital, what's going in the capital of that $987,000, we're going to continue to expand our security cameras throughout the city to help enable our police force to make sure that we're keeping a good eye on our buildings and facilities and keep them safe. We have some repairs to different municipal buildings that it needed. We're going to look to, we had started a process of purchasing vehicles through Enterprise. This would be to make the final payment to pay off those vehicles that we've already taken possession of through the lease program. Some additional money for police and fire safety equipment. And then under beach capital, we have to do some work on the promenade speakers and also some additional improvements around. If you remember last year, we did the Mount Vernon crossover. So we're looking at the crossover that's up at Wilmington Avenue needs to be replaced and do some other beach crossover work similar to that. This just kind of continues to go over some of those streets that we're looking at paving in that capital project. We're looking at those New Jersey Avenue, Broad, Perry Street, Grant Street, and then also Elmira Street. Those traffic safety improvements, we're looking at the Elmira Street, Bang Street, Decatur Street corridor to kind of improve a bike safe way through that area and kind of move those bicyclists north-south along there. Also looking at Stockton Avenue, Queen and Jefferson Street, looking at what opportunities we might have in those corridors. There was last year we had a bond for water sewer for the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank. We have found we're looking to do a change order to add Winona and Swan. Winona and Swan, we received last year a $110,000 grant from the DOT. So we've shuffled around some of the clean water and drinking water monies within the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, and we can do a little more maximizing of that principal forgiveness that we're eligible for. But we had to do a supplemental bond to add some additional funds into that bond. And a lot of it was more as moving the funds between the two so that we can maximize the principal forgiveness. The police building, we still have, when we bonded that additional funds last year for the police station building, we didn't go to the full amount because we had to limit the amount we put in there because of our cap based on what we had in the budget to pay our cap portion of the bond. So therefore, we need to add some construction costs, furniture, security, and technology. That still was not programmed into the funded last year, so we have to fund that additional work. The work at the ADA improvements at the tennis club and physics state, that project is about 99% out to bid. We're just waiting, really we have to wait at this point until the budget is adopted because last year we did not include that as a Chapter 159 when we got the second phase of the ADA grant. So I can't put a project out to bid. You can't do a 159 in this part of the year, so we have to wait until it's actually incorporated in the budget to include it. So as soon as the budget is adopted, we'll be able to put that project out to bid, but we may wait and have this project start in the fall so that we're not disrupting through the tennis club or the physics estate during the higher season. Again, here we're going to continue to make an application to the county for Lafayette Street Park for the completion of Lafayette Street Park, but most likely we're also going to have to time that with the work and completion of the police station building. So that'll be some timing factors there. So the equipment purchases, I did talk about the automated weather warning system, but we're looking at $1,385,000 for purchase of an ambulance. If you recall, you authorized an ambulance for purchase before I became city manager. We still haven't received it. So we kind of have to start thinking about now the next ambulance we need, because it's going to take almost a year to get this one in. We did find another manufacturer that says that they can get it sooner, but I'm not holding my breath, but we're going to start that process now so that we can not have to wait another 3 years to get another ambulance. We need to replace the beachfront recycle truck, so it's not the residential larger truck that picks up the residential recycling. This is the smaller one that you see picking up recycling around the mall and along the beachfront. We're going to need to upgrade some of our police vehicles. A hook and lift truck is a truck that Public Works uses. It's essentially, looks like a roll-off truck, but has a big grappling arm on the side of it, so it can pick up brush, small and large appliances, and put them in the back. Saves on workers' comp so that employees don't have to lift those large unwieldy objects, puts them in the back. And then we may have a future benefit that in the Public Works yard, where we have all the roll-off containers where residents drop off items, we pay a service to have them transported up to the transfer station, dumped and returned. If with this truck, we're possibly be able to retrofit and change out some of the roll-off containers, and so that we can haul them ourselves, saving on some of those delivery fees. And then the mechanic shop needs a tire balance lift machine so that they can do work on the tires themselves, as opposed to sending them the tire to have them unmounted and dismounted off the rims. Again, here's the beach capital stuff. We have to upgrade the, do some upgrades on the speakers, and some general improvements. By the way, here on the agenda this evening, we have on the consent agenda is to authorize to go out to bid for the water tower. So we are ready to go out to bid for this, but this will just be, I think we're just going to need possibly a little bit more funds to maybe get there, but also help cover any of the construction administration costs for the project. Again, just to reiterate, $987,000 that are going to go into the capital budget, not the capital bonding, so no long-term finances for some smaller building improvements. Beach Tech headquarters, our Broadway building, both need some roof work. City Hall needs to start doing some work on the pointing, so we're going to have some design and engineering work done for that. And then here's our public safety equipment that we're going to be doing some more security cameras and those types of things. And then I'm just going to end it with our nice continued look at our debt ratio. Ms. Reed did post our debt statement up earlier, and our debt ratio did drop again down to 0.839 for 2025. So that's what we're looking for. That kind of describes a little more in detail the 4 bond ordinances that you introduced earlier.
Thank you, Mr. Dietrich. Council, do you have any questions at this time? No? Okay. Okay. So this is first reading on these ordinances. There will be a public hearing at the second reading. Ms. Reed is here now. Do we want to just take any questions? We don't necessarily, we're not making this, open, but if you have questions, you can certainly ask them, and we'll get back to you during the second reading if you're not able to attend. We okay? Mr. Roush? But again, we're not necessarily, this is not a public hearing portion.
Jules Rouse, 1010 New York Avenue. Each of the 4 bonds has a cost associated with each of the bonds. Is that funding incorporated into the debt of the bond, or is that paid for by cash from the city?
The 4 that we introduced tonight will be ultimately paid by long-term debt. So there'll be short-term debt for until 2027, I think, is when our next long-term debt bond matures, and then we'll be going out for additional long-term financing in 2027, where these different issuances will be rolled into that long-term debt.
But as an example, the bond 596, that debt's $300,000, and they talk about costs of $60,000. What does that $60,000 cost represent? And is that paid for? Is that built into the debt, or is it paid for by cash?
The 60,000 is paid by the revenue out of the, it's paid out of the budget now, but the rest of the remaining would be.
So it's being paid for by the taxpayers in effect.
Well, all of it's paid by the taxpayers, yes.
But it's not part of the debt.
No,
you're
the
not-
60,000 would not be part of the long-term debt.
You're not
Correct.
financing the costs to create the bonds.
Correct,
And that's true in each of the 4 cases?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just for the record, I did lose the mayor.
All right.
Working to get him back,
Okay.
possibly. I will let
All
you
right.
know.
Mike, I just have a question about Enterprise, because we went into leasing these vehicles through Enterprise. Have we decided not to lease anymore?
Correct.
Okay, so,
Yeah, correct.
okay, so because I mean, that's why we got rid of a lot of those other police cars, because we were leasing. So now we're just going to buy them all out at this point.
Correct.
Stacy, just name and address real quick for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're-
928 Columbia Avenue.
Thank you. Stacy Sheehan. Appreciate it.
Okay, again, there'll be an opportunity for the public to ask any questions at second reading.
March
And these are
17th will be the second.
March 17th? Thank you.
Yep. All right.
Do we want to go back to asking about updates on old business?
Yeah, manager, were you going to speak on the beach surveys tonight?
Yes, I did the capital just because it was more
Sure.
timely with that, and,
If you want to give an update on the stock.
yeah, so we did receive we did receive our Stockton Beach report that kind of summarized the end of the year. I don't think there was any real big surprises in there. Most of the beaches all lost a little bit of sand. Obviously, a lot of the sand that we've lost, you don't really see because it's actually below the high tide line, so it's in the outshore area. But, overall, we did lose around, I think, 75,000 cubic yards of sand total across the whole beach, which isn't, I mean, it's hard to say, it's not, compared to some of our other beaches to the north of us, this is relatively minor in comparison to the losses that they've experienced. So, we've fared fairly well over the last year in overall beach sand loss, but still, nonetheless, we lost quite a bit of sand.
And Manager, these are only the surveyed beaches that they
Correct.
do, so that's not.
It's a
it's not
real
encompassing all of it.
gross estimation on the beach, because obviously, if you took the spacings that the Army Corps does for
Mm-hmm.
nourishment, they take them much more frequently, so you get a much more accurate loss. So yeah, it's a gross estimate of generally how the beaches are looking.
So looking directionally as to the loss? Okay,
Yes.
As opposed to exact? Okay,
Yep.
all right, thank you. City Solicitor, do you have any,
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
City Council, any old business at this time? No?
No.
I'll just note, I believe Mayor Mullock might have excused himself for the rest of the meeting.
Thank
I will let you know if that changes. It was at 5:38 PM.
Thank you, Erin.
All right, so if we're done with updates in Old Business
Yes.
Council, let's go back to ordinances for second reading and consideration for adoption. We have 589-2026, an ordinance confirming the appointment authority for the Shade Tree Commission, and there is a public hearing this evening. If anybody would like to speak on ordinance 589, please come on up to the podium.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on 589? No? Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to adopt?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, council? All right. Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
All right, we have 590-2026, an ordinance amending Section 482 of the City Code to update the policies and procedures for the protection of trees in the city of Cape May. There is also a public hearing this evening. If there is anybody wishing to speak on ordinance 590, please come on up.
Anyone wishing to speak? No? Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
Seeing none, do we have a motion to adopt 590?
I'll move that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Discussion, council? Okay. Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, we have the public portion on resolutions only. So anybody wishing to comment on the resolutions, anything on the consent agenda, please come on forward at this time.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on resolutions only or anything on the consent agenda? Seeing none?
Okay. Council, is there anything you'd like to remove from the consent agenda this evening?
Deputy Mayor, if I could just make a point.
Yes.
On the agenda, under reports is the manager's monthly departmental report.
Yes, sir.
I just, for the public's edification, I just want everybody to be aware, no longer you're going to see individual departments like the police report or the fire report or, individual departmental reports. I'm going to be each month compiling the previous month's reports and then submitting them as a monthly report, usually on the second meeting of the month. So just so that the public's looking at like, oh, I didn't see the police report for last month.
Right.
I'm
And
incorporating all of those types of reports, summaries into manager's monthly report included there.
And if you have not had a chance to take a look at it, it is included in the council packet. It has a wealth of information, so I encourage you to take a look at this. Mr. Dietrich and Mr. Riggs have put this together, and it's extremely comprehensive across all city departments, very detailed. And certainly, I think I can speak for council and the mayor. We found it to be very informative and really applaud him for the efforts that they've undertaken. This is, quite a bit of work that each of the departments has to submit, and then they go through it and make sure that they can compile it. And Mr. Dietrich has indicated that he intends to have this every month in our council packet, which we welcome, and also to expand upon it in the future. So please, I encourage the public to take a look at this. It's got some really good information across all of the departments in the city. Thank you, Mr. Dietrich. Thank you, Mr. Riggs.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing to remove from the consent agenda, do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to new business.
City Solicitor, is there any new business for this evening?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. City Manager?
I do have a couple things, yes.
Okay.
First thing, I have a resident on Washington Street that is requesting the city to look at doing a request for a street opening. He's looking to convert from oil to gas. However, as you can recall, the city has a requirement for a moratorium of a street opening for 5 years. Obviously, Washington Street was just paved a year and a half ago now. So it's under it. In order to waive that requirement, would have to have the approval of City Council based on a recommendation from the Public Works Director and myself. And I would like to make a recommendation if council is so inclined to do this. However, to do one caveat, and I've done this in other municipalities where under a normal repaving and repair, they just put hot asphalt, cut it, put asphalt back, and maybe just put a little seal coat around the edges, and then it looks like a patch forever. However, the asphalt companies have a newer, brighter technology in asphalt repair where it's called infrared asphalt repair, where essentially they'll put that patch in, let it sit for 6 months, and then they come back, and it's essentially almost looks like a 10 by 10 propane heater. And they just heat up both the old asphalt and the new asphalt, and then they rake it and they blend it all in, and then they re-roll it. And essentially when you come back, you really almost can't tell that they've had to repair. So it allows you to do repairs in streets that are less than 5 years old. With this, I call it like it's an enhanced repair method or process. Several towns, both in Cape May and the state of New Jersey, use this method. Some use it as their regular asphalt road repair, but a lot of them will use it in an emergency repair where they've had a newly paved street and they come back and do this. It's also a method that we really use where if you have if you've just paved a street and you have a small little puddle and you're trying to get rid of it, or you have to patch in something to get rid of a puddle, that's what they do to kind of heat up the old asphalt, and then they rake it in, and then you can blend new asphalt into it and kind of get rid of little bird baths and ponding, but they've extended it to kind of using it for road repair. So I'd ask if council's so inclined to possibly look at doing this repair method, and almost you could say, maybe this is a test case to see how it works here, to see if it is something that you would entertain in the future, just to see how it works.
Mr. Dietrich, so a couple things come to mind. Who pays for all of that?
So they go through the normal process. I mean, ultimately, the homeowner pays for it. Obviously,
Okay.
who's making the road opening request is actually South Jersey Gas, because they're the ones
Making
that are
the-
actually going to be
okay.
doing
All
the
right.
opening.
Okay.
But this enhanced repair will most likely be passed back on to the homeowner.
Okay.
And the city maintains, for all our projects, maintenance bonds for, if
Okay.
contractors
But you
like
would
this-
make it a stipulation that you would want this particular methodology
We-
used in order to approve.
That would be the condition of the permit, that they would have to use this enhanced method for repairing that.
Now, I envision that there could be other homeowners that might come forth in areas that they would like to convert to gas, and they're under the same moratoriums for other streets that have been worked on. Is this something that, well, we could use this as a test case? Is this something that we should, be exploring as to what the rules and regulations might be in the future, rather than doing these as individual council considerations, making it more?
I would say if the council, if we did this as a test case and you saw that it meets the satisfaction of a quality that you're saying, okay, this is something we can look forward to, I would recommend that we make this part of the ordinance procedure so that,
Okay.
you have that exception under the moratorium that says, okay, if you don't want to wait to 5 years and you want to do this enhanced method, then this is what you have to do. And that's what I would make that recommendation. But I felt this would be a good way to maybe test it out, as opposed to, because then you can kind of see how it does before introducing an ordinance.
Yes, certainly.
Because then you only have one patch out there as opposed to
Right,
a
so I
bunch.
would ask that, and Councilwoman Baldwin has a question, but just before that, so I don't lose my train, I would like to have pictures of the conditions now, then the interim conditions, and then the final
Finals,
conditions,
that-
so that we could look at it.
Photo document
before-
the whole.
Yeah, to document the entire
course.
process. So Councilwoman Baldwin?
I do. Well, since it's currently codified, that would have to come up as a resolution for us to approve. Would that be at our next meeting?
That would be on your next meeting for a consent agenda to authorize that.
Okay. Just if we can get some information on, on the process, maybe, and I know Deputy Mayor
Yeah.
McDade said, like kind of before and after, just a little bit more information.
I don't know if I mean,
Photographs
I'll have to
or-
do some research on, see if I can get.
Or ask South Jersey Gas to
I
provide?
can assist you with that, too. We've had this come up before council. We've had some of these hardship requests come before council, and we can speak after the meeting if you'd like, and I can help prepare something for the next meeting, because there's fees and whatnot associated with it as
Yeah,
well.
but no, they're talking
But we're
about,
talking about
they
the
want to see
technological
the technology
solution.
of how the repair work is
Oh, I'm
done.
sorry. I thought you were asking for more information on the actual request.
No.
No,
Okay.
that's going to have to be at a,
That will also have to be a
have to be at
resolution.
a next meeting
Yeah.
as a
Right.
resolution.
Yeah.
But I'd like to
Okay.
understand the sort of the
So
technological.
we'll prepare the resolution, but also along with that, I'll do
It
some more
reminds me of
information.
when Mr. de Blasio came and we looked at the technology that was be able to investigate lead pipes, which we never knew about. So, if there's something out there that is not going to disrupt the work that's been done in the street, while being able to provide, allowing for homeowners to make these changes, as long as the conditions are met, and we have, something that we're satisfied with, I think it's well worth taking a look at.
I'll work on that
Okay.
for next meeting.
All right.
It makes me think of like a brochure that you would see at the League of Municipalities, this
Yep.
this methodology.
Different
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that, they do have it there.
technology changes.
okay.
They're there.
All right, so we'll look forward to that information coming back to us.
Thank you.
To review.
The next, I just wanted to follow up on Captain Bobick's resolution, and just to remind, it's going to be 3:30 on Friday, February 27th, if anybody's interested in joining us and walking the captain out. But then to follow up on that Monday, March 2nd at 3:30 here in Council Auditorium, there's going to be the swearing in of our new captain, a lieutenant, and 2 sergeants. So a larger turnover of police swearing in. So if anybody, if you could just put that on your schedule, and if you're available, I'll send out an email to everybody, but I just wanted
Please
to,
do.
What time on the 2nd?
3:30.
Okay, both of them are at 3:30 then?
Both of them are 3:30.
Okay, thank you.
So Friday, Monday
And Monday.
of this,
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
right here. Thank you. That's
Thank
all I
you,
had.
Mr.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot going on there. Thank you, Mr. Dietrich. City Clerk, do you have anything this evening?
Yes, 2 items this evening. You'll notice this was on the website, but I wanted to highlight it for Resolution 119. Council has amended their previously scheduled council meeting. It was scheduled for April 7th. Instead of having that meeting, the first meeting in April, there's an extra Tuesday in March. So council will actually be meeting on March 31st, Tuesday, March 31st at 5 p.m., rather than during spring break when there's a lot of kids out of school and people traveling. So there will be 3 meetings in March
Yeah.
and 1 meeting in April. We've done it like once before.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
of course, that's going to be published and posted everywhere. I just wanted to highlight that tonight for those present. And secondly, is more just a heads up, and I can go into more detail, in the future if there are questions. There was some changes to regulations regarding public noticing that were put into, they were adopted last year, where instead of publishing in the paper, we must publish to our website as of March 1st. So starting March 1st, we have a public notices page clearly present on our website, right under like code book, live stream, the icons in yellow, it'll say public notices. And as of March 1st, we will start to publish all of our legal notices to that portion of our website, no longer in the paper. There may be certain notices we still publish in the paper. We're still navigating it. There's still some question marks in the law for us. But just know that, and we'll kind of remind everybody, I've been publishing in the paper twice a month as per law for the remainder of the year, with a direct hyperlink to the public notices site on our website. The state has to create their own webpage with every single municipality's hyperlinks to their public notices. I don't believe they've done that yet. So we're ahead of the state, to no one's surprise. So just as of March 1st, just know that we will be posting to the website, no longer publishing in the paper unless for some reason we have to.
Aaron, just because it might come up from a public question, what about applicants' notices to the planning board or zoning board? Would they be able to send the city and have the city post their notices on our website, or do they still
No,
have to
they have to
in the
publish in an online paper. There's certain special rules for municipalities versus members of the public, and, that's entering
Thank
into
you. I
legal
just-
territory.
I just wanted to
Yeah, we can't post on behalf of anybody else. This is specifically city notices, legal notices.
This is for purposes of, here's a special meeting, or here's our annual meeting list, or
Going out to bid for this
going out to bid.
project. Mhm.
Notice of
Ordinances,
decisions from
yeah.
planning board or zoning board, notices that the city or city boards put out. Applicants for like a municipal land use application, planning board or zoning board, they will have to do their own noticing through an online publication, and they will still have to do certified mailings, just like they did before, to the 200-foot list. So it's not like electronic notice. That is still snail mail, certified mailing, and then the applicant will have to do their own electronic notice. But we were on the same wavelength there, so.
And we'll have some more information. I'm sure we're going to have to tweak it here and there, but the bones are there on the website, and we'll start posting there as of March 1st.
All right, thank you
Okay.
very much.
And that's it for me, Council. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Council, Mr. Meyer, any comments this evening?
No, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Bodnar?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilwoman Baldwin?
I'm sorry, usually I say no, but
Oh, okay.
we have a lot going on the HPC. We have the awards banquet that we're going to hold on May the 13th. We had 3 jurors very well-known in the state jurors that came in. Steve Smolin, who did our HPC, our new standards. Dorothy Guzzo, she was the head of SHPO, head of New Jersey Trust, 35 years experience. And then Joan Berkeley, she's an architectural historian. She published books about Cape May County, 40 years experience. So we had some really great judges come in to judge the different categories that we have. We have 5 categories of awards that are going to be presented at that time. But this kind of leads up to the public's information here. There are 2 awards that we want the public to be involved in, and that's the Stewardship and Leadership Award. Both of the applications are available on our city website. We have another month. We'll still be accepting applications for another month, but it's not a daunting application process. You would have to get in touch with the person who you would be nominating and fill out the application and send it in to our HPC secretary. So please get involved, and hopefully look forward to seeing everybody on, during our awards banquet. And thank you, Kevin, for all of your work on that too, part of the HPC and the audience.
Sounds very exciting. So,
That's all.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So now that we've concluded council comments, we'll open it up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to comment, please come forward. Name and address.
Stacy Shan, 928 Columbia Avenue. I just have one clarifying question. When you'll be putting the information on the city website, what is the time frame that it has to be on the website before meetings? Is there a certain time frame?
I'm going to have to follow all the same existing laws. It's just instead of anything going in the paper, I can put it on the website.
But so it still has like a week beforehand or things like that, or dated?
So 48 hours
Oh, just
for
48
agenda.
hours.
Yeah, it's just 48 hours for agenda. We get it up, before then. But yeah, so all the same rules that we're currently following, it's going to, everything meeting-wise is going to still be posted in the same meeting area. This
Right.
is just public hearing, this ordinance was introduced on this date and considered for public hearing. Anything that I would publish in the paper is now going to be published to the website. It needs to stay up there unless there's some other rule that I need to follow for like 7 days, and then we have to archive it for a year, and then we can get rid of it.
Okay, so it's not 48 hours, it's like 7 days or whatever it is. Like
I
when the ordinance would be, like, 4 weeks beforehand or something, the first reading, the second?
So yeah, any publication, so like, for example, there has to be at least 10 days between the publication for like a zoning ordinance before second reading. Like, I'm still gonna have to follow all of those rules.
Okay.
Just I'm gonna post it to the website instead of the paper.
And I guess you'll put in the date when you put it on there,
Yeah,
correct?
that'll be in the notice. And we're still working out specifics as far as affidavits. Like, I'll be doing my own affidavits of publication. Usually we did a tear sheet from the newspaper. The state hasn't really given us guidance on how we're going to do that. So we're going to, whatever direction I get, I will implement, but it's going to be as crystal clear as we can be.
Okay. My other question has to do with the road opening. And I know we had one person came here before, talked to council how they wanted to do it. And once they found there was a cost involved, all of a sudden they didn't want to do it anymore. So I think it's nice that you're telling people up front, this is what it's going to be and this is the cost. But at the same time, I know the city has opened up roads right after they've been paved. Maybe they should look at that same technology, because I know on Columbia Avenue, it was paved within 3 months. They were opening it up, and now there's a gully where it was opened up from the city opening it up. And then my other thing, any more information on the Jacob Jones, if they're going to be coming by and doing any kind of presentation?
I know they've been working on it, and I believe that are waiting until a little bit further into the spring to come back and make a presentation both publicly and here at council, because I think they were not wanting to be here in January or February when nobody's around.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna try to come back maybe in April and do a presentation there so that maybe more people around and are available to make
Yeah.
public comment.
Yeah, just so we can know ahead of time so that people can be aware if it's going to be around them. My last question, I think, Paul, is this for you. With that Bank Street retaining wall, is there any kind of permits that we're going to need in order to do that? And
Yes, we're going to need a CAFR permit to do that, probably freshwater wetlands permits, waterfront development permit, probably those three. That's part of what I need. The engineer started to do some work, but I ran out of funds to let him continue, so I need these funds to hire a surveyor to locate the because they flagged all the wetlands, so now I have to locate those wetlands so they can put them on a plan, and then they have to start looking at, okay, what are the jurisdictional determination limits of what permits do they actually need? But I'm pretty sure they might not need the CAFRA individual permit. There might be some general permits that they need, but that's once they locate in relationship to where they're going to be able to put this bulkhead wall and the wetlands line, that'll kind of define what permits they ultimately need. And then then we'll come back to the council with a plan showing, okay, this is where we approximate going to need, this is how high it's going to be, and can we make the application to the DEP for the permit?
And you don't see any shortcomings with building this wall with flooding upstream neighbors or even West Cape May neighbors?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Jules Rouse, 1010 New York Avenue. Just to follow up on that Bank Street, have we asked for, or is it ever required, to get an indication from DEP whether they give you a conceptual approval of the project, or do they just wait for the application?
No, so there is a process that you can meet. It's called a JCP meeting, but you can't have that meeting until you've got a plan to kind of show them and say, hey, I kind of want to build this here, because they need to know what kind of impacts to the environment are going to be. So once we have this first initial plan, then that's when we'll reach out to the DEP and start having that conversation, just like we do on all of our projects that we
I
go
think it's
there.
a good
Because
idea
it's,
to do
you
it.
don't want to, I don't want to spend all the money on design if they're going to say, go in that direction, not that direction.
That was my point, Paul. Thank you. With the desal plan, has West Cape May approved what we're doing, and has DEP required that West Cape May approve it? It's kind of a
No.
two-part question.
No, why, the DEP does not, they're not really, they didn't ask us, hey, did we ask our customers, can we build it? That's a decision for the city to make, the process. The DEP doesn't get involved in that question.
Okay, but has West Cape May approved it? Or don't they need to approve it?
We have a provision in our agreement that has a bulk water rate and a desal rate that would cause into question, if we make capital improvements, that there's a desal rate that would apply to capital improvements. Once we have our final design and cost model, we'll be reaching out to our city residents first, and then make a presentation to all of our bulk users on how our capital improvements would affect their rates.
So it will go to the Coast Guard as well. It was my
We'll be
next point.
notifying them of what we would anticipate increase rate based on their capital costs for the desal plant, yes.
Okay, just, and one small comment. You may, one of our TPA members cornered me this past weekend and asked me about the height of the seawall on Beach Avenue between Howard and Queen. If you drive down there, you may recognize why somebody would ask that question if they lived across the street. My only comment, I'm passing that on from a resident owner.
Good evening, Council. Peter Cole, 1075 Michigan Avenue, also the president of the Taxpayers Association of Cape May. I just want to say there will be a meeting of the TPA this Thursday evening at 5 p.m. here in the City Hall. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Okay. Time is 6:08.
Time is
Thank you, everyone.